And we are finally live. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, happy time zones wherever you might be. I'm Emma and welcome back to the House of Hubris here on twitch.tv/Sarasnet. Welcome back to the Banner Saga. Now on the Banner Saga, I'm on that side. Now on part 4. We're running a few minutes behind, but that's due to a series of painfully on-brand reasons, so let's not go into it too much, shall we? Yes, this brought to you by your local streamer who hasn't just been acquired by Microsoft. Because, you know, all the wrong people get that sort of money. But we knew that. Me getting salty about the news aside, yeah, welcome back. Last time, you didn't miss much if you didn't see last time, because I only made it an hour in and then found the crucial error of deciding to have a stream on Sunday evening at the end of a busy weekend, which, you know, I just fell the hell asleep. And just called it after now. Yeah, but so we're at Einatoft. Avend is awake and now fighting on our side, and he is a wizard, so that's handy. Turns out Mendes can kind of manipulate the tapestry of the world, so he can throw lightning at people. But also the Dredge have a massive army who have all massed at this bridge leading to Einatoft. And they have a Sundr, who are the kind of magic Dredge generals. And this one in particular, named Bellower, is big and red and also immortal, which is a problem. And I've decided to try and hold him off and lost an arm, so, you know, now who's displaying hubris? So now we are currently kind of between a rock and a hard place in Einatoft and deciding whether we want to try and fight this whole Dredge army piecemeal day by day, or just leave or destroy the bridge, which Jorund, the Val King, has been very adamant that we don't. But yeah, let's get back into it. No, Emily, it's not that kind of RNG. That arm, never coming back. I need to buy some supplies, like, immediately. There, goes another 4 days. So far, we've just been fighting on the bridge, and let's continue with that, shall we? As you approach on the 3rd day, the warriors are in more disarray than usual. "Where's Fasolt?" you ask one of the passing Val. "Didn't make it," he replies. "Oh, Fasol." Dredge are nearly at the mouth of the bridge. Barely held back. Your mind starts to wander into dark places. Oh, and also, we met the serpent that's destined to eat the world. That was the one that chewed a hole through the mountain range the other day. And he's pissed because there is a great darkness coming that will end the world before he can. You snap back to attention when you realise nearly the entire army of Val are staring in your direction. Ivor walks past, shuffling slowly with an enormous axe in his remaining hand. He heads towards the bridge. "Ivor!" you yell, but he doesn't reply, plunging his axe into the nearest dredge before kicking it over the side of the bridge. "Come on!" he screams at the Black Horde, cursing you rush to his side in battle. Oh, and everyone's injured. That's fun. So I guess just take out our non-injured... Oh, we have to have Rook. Do we have to have Avend? No. Would Avend probably be more use than Mugan even with this injury? I mean, that means he starts on only strength 7, but he can still throw lightning and heal people, so... Yeah, alright, do the thing. welcome, one-armed diver. Still has all the same ability. No, he doesn't actually have the same abilities. That was a lie. He's still got Battering, but now instead of having the reaction armor damage, he has splash damage, which is nice. They have... Are these all slingers? These are all slingers. Okay, not too bad. Let's do this then. Don't magic rock me. You Stonewall, just keep yourself safe. In case that happens. You stop having armor. Good dodge, we like this. Can you lightning? Yeah, it won't jump to anyone, but if we do a level 3 one, it'll just take 4 strength off. Also, if you weren't here last time, you would have heard me talk about how much I love that attack animation. Just pulling lines of lightning out of the ground. Very cool. Stop hitting Rook, he's already injured, you mean. Alert can accomplish basically nothing. What did I say about magic rocks and not throwing them at me? Oddly, may as well advance. And hey, put a arrow trap there. Good job, Ale. Oh, damn it, because he's blinded, he can't spend willpower this turn. Boo. It says you can't use it for movement, but actually it's you can't use it at all, which is very unhelpful. Stop hitting Rook. Ale, show them why not to hit Rook. They're still hitting Rook. Well, what do you think of this? That went well. That went well. I like that. Stop hitting Rook. Here's a lesson in why. Because I'll kill you with the sky. Strong dodging. Stop having armor. I mean, it still has armor, but only just. Oh hey, Rook's even more injured. Boo. No hitting Ale, he's baby. I mean, all the attack animations in this game are very good. I mean, all the animations full stop in this game are very good. Can I interest you in more lightning? Yeah, you want to target the weaker people first because it increases in strength with every jump. Alette is, as ever, a beast. You know. Now, if both of you could just get dead... Yeah, I know the smash only does 1 damage, but still, it would have been nice. Really? You decided to use your last action just chipping away at his armor? Ooh. What happens when the injured go down? I believe they just get even more injured. Rook has been injured, but neither of our squishy archers went down, so that's new. Got 7 renown. Enough of this, groans Ivor, who seems to have snapped out of his daze. This is getting us nowhere. Ingvar, glad to see you well. You swear you catch a note of trepidation in the king's voice. You're under enough. This fight cannot be won. Again, this. I'll be damned if that bridge falls during my reign. Let our whole race die. We'll all be gone someday, Ingvar. I need not tell you. There are no more Val being made tomorrow, or 1,000 years from now. We are it. I will not destroy what we have made. Would you leave no trace of us when we are gone? As if we never existed. I know this, but yours is one voice of many. I know that the Varl are equal. The days of Kendra are over. I ask the Varl, all there is left in the world, to follow me and live another day. Who do you think they'll choose? The weight of the air in the Great Hall becomes so thick it nearly suffocates you. The silence continues for ages. Go on. Take the mender, destroy the bridge. You're telling me we spent all these days in here fighting to defend the bridge for not... Oh my god. Do it and leave. Take whoever would join you and do not return to my city. The alliance of man and Varl is through. Ivor is almost out the door before your interest finished his answer. Well, get wrecked, I guess. Led by Ivor, the Varl push hard one last time against the dredge, until there's room enough for Avin to take position and start raining down lightning bolts on the bridge supports. Before long, the masonry is a shattered mess and begins to give under its own weight. Varl and dredge alike race to escape the collapse. When the dust clears, there's a gulf between you and the furious dredge. They won't be crossing this way. You've gotten what you wanted, says Jorund. Now leave. If I ever see man or mender again, it will be too soon. Avin tells you Juno will be waiting for us at Sigholm. Despite the end of the immediate threat, many Varl choose to join Ivor instead of following Jorund. You depart with a long caravan at your heels. Chapter 6. Varbones, the Hills. And if you were wondering how many chapters there are in this game, me too. So immediately we are going to make camp and rest for a couple of days so people can recover from these injuries. We should have enough supplies to be good with that. I've only got 7. It's 10 to promote someone level 2, isn't it? Yeah. Ooh. Wait a second. Is everybody's items correct? Ivor doesn't have an item. Ivor should have an item. Crit chance or willpower? They're both good. Willpower. Let him move a bit quicker. And we leave. Setting out along the trail to... question mark? Oh wait, Sigholm. They went over this. Let's look at the map. There's Sigholm. A city built on a spit of land jutting from within a lake, and a place of prestige to live as expansion soon became impossible on the small island, and ownership was passed down from generation to generation. The crystal clear lake water and beautiful surroundings made the land desirable, to the point that a wall was eventually built to keep away jealous neighbours. Capitalism, everybody! Heading back through the Wormscales. and down the summer path. Cutting straight southward from Wyrmtow to Sigfholm, the summer path did not exist until the Farl and Human Kings agreed to create a passage that allowed travellers to bypass Einartoft without having to go all the way through Frostvetlet. The summer path is so named because the weather is rarely clear enough to travel past Old Father in the winter. Old Father, you say? A solitary mountain peak that stands noticeably apart from the Wyrmscale range, weathered and topped with snow year-round, so that it resembles an elderly sentinel watching over the border of Setterlund and Stromlund. And that's all the map reading you'll get for now. There's so much map. God, this game is so pretty. I know I say this a lot every episode, but it's true. A group of men with broad shoulders and thick cloaks approach the caravan. They might be outlaws, you hear nearby, and the idea quickly ripples through the clansmen, only probably not as weirdly excited as it sounded when I just said it. One of the strangers approaches, saying, "We've run out of food. Any help would be welcome." His hard eyes reveal nothing of his motivations. Consider how you want to approach this. What's your deal? The men get nervous and reveal sturdy weapons. Your warriors step forward until the leader holds out a hand, saying loudly, "The last group to ask us questions tried to kill us." Tried. Let's keep it simple. Will you help us or not? Do you want to place? Fight with us and earn your food. The men look surprised by your offer. In short order, they join the caravan and start sharing tales and drinks. Unfortunately, it's less than a day later that you discover they've vanished along with a sizable portion of your supplies. Welp. 3 days of supplies. Are you kidding me? This is why I hate people. People are the worst. Unnar, the quirky old man with the leather headband, says, "If there's one thing I know better than women and mead, it's... well..." He smiles. "Well, nothing. But I know when a group could use some help. Just nod and let Dol do now to make everything better. No questions now." What are you talking about? Unnar's smile fades. "I said no questions. And what's the first thing out of your mouth?" He shakes his head and shouts, "Forget it! Forget the lot of you!" He storms off, and the next day there is no trace of his whereabouts. Have I mentioned how much I hate people? Never interact with people, it leads to bad. Ooh. It appears that large figures are following from the direction of Einartoft. Oddleaf watches intently before finally saying, "They have a cart. I can hear it." He's slow to get a better view and spy a small caravan of Varl. Eventually they catch up. Hey, the parties meet. "Greetings, Ivor. It's been quite a while since we talked, hasn't it?" "I know you. Reuben? Never imagined you to be wanting to fight the king. What made you leave?" "Someone had to." "What do you mean?" "Belor is heading this way." "Oh no, that's not good at all." "Already? How's that possible?" "A group of Varl from Wyrmtow showed up around the back of Einartoft. A long way. Belor and his army chased them across the summer path, they said." "Past Wyrmtow? That doesn't make sense. Belor was at the bridge." "He must have doubled back after that serpent appeared. While we fought on the bridge, he led half his forces around to approach Einartoft from behind." "The attack on the bridge was a feint." Oh, I've made so many bad decisions. "Don't let anyone tell you the Dredge aren't clever. Einartoft will fall within a day." "Maybe not. He's following you. I thought one of you might know why." You exchange nervous glances, but nobody speaks up. Must be me then.
There's something I don't know. That's quite a grudge he's holding if he's coming for you, Ivor.
It doesn't matter. Our only chance is to get to stay home. Juno will know what to do. Yes, and Juno is the dead Mender woman that we found him with, who turns out maybe not that dead. Or maybe she is dead and it's not bothering her particularly.
We'll join you. I bring supplies and warriors, and my friend Gunulf here bears a heavy sword. I believe he'd be happy to swing it for you.
Yay, Gunulf. And yay, 40 supplies. Love that. I mean, that's still, we've only now got 10 days. Actually, let's go to camp. I'm going to take 1 day of rest for morale purposes. Oh, wait, first let's talk to Gunulf. Don't talk much, do you? You approach the massive green-clad Varl, who's sitting quietly by himself, eating bread. I mean mood.
So?
Just wanted to know anyone who can cleave a dredge in two like that a little better. And Rook.
What to know? Ruben asked me to chop a dredge in two. A chopper.
Travelled with Ubin for long?
Yes, long time. When I was young, I fight for another Varl. Did not work out. But I learned to swing a sword. Ubin pays well. Gives me plenty of things to kill. To be honest, maybe too many things these days.
You like that sword, huh? Have you considered buying a scabbard for it?
No, I love the sword. Given to me by old Screamer himself. When I start working for Ubin, he says, I protect the king's collection. I protect the king.
Gunulf makes an expression somewhere between pain and frustration.
He couldn't save it, though.
He makes a hand motion like an object falling from a tall height and exploding. Yeah, we remember that.
Mattered a lot at the time. I think it doesn't matter now. Screamer is dead anyway.
I'll let you finish your meal.
Want to be friends with Gunulf, Rook?
He pops the last hunk of bread into his mouth. Absolutely, yes.
Keep food in the cart.
Again, big mood. Big mood. 1 day of rest for morale. Gunulf can have... Actually, Gunulf can have that. Oh, but... oh, wait. The Svalin dust. Yes, no, that's actually better. I have that back. That's fine. Okay. Or actually, should Avon have the Svalin dust? Gunulf can have the belt that'll give him break 5, which is wild. And people can have some levels. I should be leveling people. Rook, have a level. Have some break and exertion, as is the way. And also now, you do more break damage with your Mike and Pray. That's handy. Oddleaf, level. Can now do 2 arrows, one of which is stronger. And that's all my renown gone. But now, actually, people can have better relics, because... Rook can have crit chance. This Bjarkan rune can go to... Ale, because he doesn't have anything. And this +1 willpower go to Klima, because why not? Morale has improved, possibly because we rested, possibly because we all have new shiny things. This is good, threatening music. The caravan stops, splitting the road. Ahead, the path leading to Sigurdholm veers off into the hills, which are now swimming with familiar black shapes. Dredge that way too, grimmaces Avent. The summer path leads straight to Sigurdholm, while taking the main road will add several days.
You're everywhere by now, replied Zubin. I suggest we go around past Hogswood.
I kind of feel like we should try and make speed, because I'm not huge on supplies. Let's go. Courage, you tell your fighters. We fought the Edge before, and we won't find peace again until we reach Sigurdholm. The caravan turns toward the summer path, where you immediately find yourself face to face with foes. We are about evenly matched. Okay, take formations. Go. Right. Let's just go big, shall we? Really good elf should probably go first now that he has 5 break. Ah, this is where you battering ram. This is no, we can't battering ram. No, don't end turn. Fine then, just do a break that will cascade down onto everyone else, because that's fun. Ah, see, immediately losing half of Gunnulf's strength is not a good look. But how would you like to immediately lose 7 armor? Stop hitting Gunnulf, it's mean! Also, don't lay bombs. That's even ruder. Now, does anyone need armor back? No, nobody's taken any armor damage because they just directly killed Luden. Not Luden, Gunnulf, different person. Fine, in that case, just get lightninged. Even if it can't bounce to anyone, that's still full strength damage bypassing your armor. Oh, thank you for taking me away from those bombs. Very nice of you. And just in time for them to explode, have way less armor. Speaking of way less armor, Hugh, have way less armor. Okay, you just walk there, stay out of the radius of the bombs, and take the turn, that's fine. And Gunnulf can just die, that's... You were supposed to be the chosen one. And lightning time. What time is it? It's lightning time. Get wrecked. Actually, no point using the action to finish taking that one out. Just straight punch up there. Get the dredge to kill themselves, that's funny. this one out, why not? Oh, the big ones are worth 2 renown. Didn't notice that before. Are they within range? Not quite. And... arc lightning. Yeah, this is why I took the plus break artifact off him, because, frankly, if you're using Avon just to hit things with a stick, you're doing it wrong. Right, so the Vol were apparently mostly there to draw fire. Roadhounds are level. Whatever. Have a bunch of willpower so that you can use it for the zaps. Or does anyone need armor actually? Eh, not really. Zaps it is. Because, you know, being able to just directly bypass armor is great. Because most body armor doesn't protect against lightning. If the sky hates you, all the armor in the world will not help. See, the traps are more dangerous when they've got so few people, because it means that person's turn will come around quicker. But if you kill them, I think they will just not trigger. Or they will trigger immediately. It had to be one of the two, really. You know when I said if you're getting Avon to just hit people with a stick, you're doing it wrong? Well... you wanna just put a trap down there. You never know. You also don't have any willpower, but you can almost kill him, that's fine. Ah, not quite. Anyway, Avon. No, not that. Just take down some more armor, I suppose. And directly into the arrow trap. I am the best at video games. Enemies have been pushed back all the way down the line. No, we're pulling back, because both of our big hitters are already down. We lost 15 humans, 9 Val. That's alright. I'm just assuming they're 24 people that I didn't like. No matter how many have fallen, there seem to be more around the next bend. This is folly, says Ivor, flicking dark blood from his axe. I'm not one to retreat, but we should turn back. Oh, do we double down? I think we've got to double down because, and say it with me, hubris. Again, we're already this far. You prepare yourself for another onslaught, which the Dredge are eager to provide. Yeah, again, formations. And let's take the injured people out. Which is just the Val, honestly. Let's just have... Let's just go all human with this and try not to sound mildly racist. Because when I say it, it sounds mildly racist. Oh, we can promote ale. That's nice. Now you can resist 5 damage per hit. That's a lot. Ready for battle, says Krum, because for once the Welsh actually worked. These should move a little bit closer in. Apart from that, good. Lose so much armor. I mean, Ale also lost a bunch of armor, but you know. And get flailed upon. Solid work, Hogan. Well flailed. May as well just directly take down some of the strength from the Scourge before he starts hitting us with that big sword. Hide behind Ale. Kill the Stone Guard. Only +1 renown for the big ones. I wonder what it was that gave her 2 before. And dead. Thanks, Oddleaf, you're a boss. More like Godleaf, am I right? Brackets, no, I am not right. I am so far from right. Anyway, take a bunch of arm damage. No, I said don't hit me with the big sword. You seem to have misinterpreted my meaning. Also don't hit Ale, because as aforementioned, baby. Almost dead. That's the real pro strat of this game, is learning how to make people almost dead. Could use the horn to give him some more willpower for that, but whatever. Is Rook down? No. Good job, Rook. There, do a sheer wall, and also the big guy can get flailed upon. Nice. Well dodged, whoever that was, I missed it. Now what you need... No, not that. I mean, that'd be good, but... Mark Prey 2... Oh, I completely forgot the archers were even there. You know that thing where you accidentally make the exact correct move? Anyway, all these guys are screwed. Mr. Dredge, I have a call for you. It's the sky. It's pissed. And you in particular. You be dead. And you be dead. And if you push back all the way down the line, should we go again? Yeah. This is probably a terrible idea. Such a bad idea. Just awful. 22 strength? That's a ridiculous number that I hate. Well, lose half your armor. Why, yes, chat, that is hubris. Thank you for noticing. I made it myself. Well. Got no willpower left in the horn. Only got 3 people on the field. This is not ideal. But on the upside... Oh, no, I can't Mercurial with Arc Lightning because I don't have any willpower. And I can't rest because I just moved. Ah, boo. This is why I should have planned first. Or at all. Anyway, have 9 damage. And you have 4 damage. No, don't hit Alette. She's even more baby. Yes, just walk into those bombs that you set, you idiot. Can't shoot the big guy because she's standing next to it. Okay, all of this, less than ideal. Put down more bombs that I can walk away from and you can just walk straight into. Oddly, if you'd like to do 14 damage, because you're an absolute beast. Nice. Less nice. Take all your armor away. And now let's just have a damage race, shall we? That one that's still on 9 strength is a serious worry to me. For that reason. It's pillage time, but the bad kind. Okay, we lost 45 people and also everyone is injured. So perhaps not ideal. But hey, we got a bunch of renown out of it. Despite your best... No. Beside your best efforts. Despite. Words. What are words? We just don't know. Despite your best efforts. I'm sorry, this is a phrase that it is not possible to say in English. Despite your best efforts. Professional voice actor. Well, semi-professional. People pay me for it. Despite your best efforts, tired and overwhelmed fighters are dropping all around you. You watch helplessly as Hogan takes a blow to the head. His brother Mogan screams, rushing to his side, and you have to drag him away before he falls as well. Hogan's wife screams in agony at the news, holding her children close. Well, this is what happens when you hubris. You manage to escape before anything else goes wrong. Cool, and now we have to camp for several days, because everyone is injured. This is not ideal. This is some way short of ideal. Did Hogan have one of my relics? I really hope he didn't and it's not just died with him. Wait, no, that's the wrong button entirely. Really hoping we don't starve. Oh, I should have leveled people. I can do that and lead into a battle. Remember all that time we saved by taking the certain path? Well. Stop! A resolute voice calls from somewhere in front of you. The surrounding terrain comes alive with armed fighters surrounding the caravan. No need for bloodshed, the leader says. Leave a couple wagons, pretend you never even stopped here. Did you know there's an army of dredge behind us? I'm guessing you have no idea the dredge are on their way. You shout. That's the case, friend, says the leader. We need those supplies more than ever. Without even a glance to his men, the attack begins. Wow, you guys suck a lot. We'll take a let out because we're fighting organic folk. Let's take ONF, why not? Let's go. Okay, stonewall all you like, I will just hit your archers instead. Like that. Did you really need to use Bird of Prey? I was stood right the hell next to you. Let's run her through just to make a point. Yeah, I think that made a point. And when you know what that point is, please write to us at. Oh no, yeah, there you go. There you go. Shoot her in the face. The point of a sword. You make an excellent point yourself. It's a good thing nobody here expects me to make jokes. And watch as the lightning just kills both of them and avoids my own people. And that's funny. Well, it doesn't kill both of them because one of them was stonewalling, but anyway. Once again, stonewalling is all well and good, but I can just elect to not attack you. Or hit you with lightning. Two damage is 2 damage, you know. Could be a lot worse. Well, don't do that. Oddleaf isn't baby, but mostly she will just kill you dead. Giacomo fino a nay. Yeah, that probably wasn't that productive, but hey. Sorry, Onaf. Anyway, this guy can die. Don't flail on Ale, he's baby. What part about him being baby was not clear? I'm gonna hit you with this stick. Again, hurting Ale. We've had this talk. Pray I do not have it further. Ha! Either you can accomplish basically nothing. Tell you what, stand there, but stonewall up, and just watch them try and hit you, it'll be funny. Exhibit A. Funny. Meanwhile, Rook will come from behind and just straight murder you with a bow. And you will continue trying to hurt Ale, despite the fact that that rocket... I was about to say that rocket, that shield, is made of God. And Ivor finally arrives just in time to do this. Oh yeah, I was meant to level people before that fight, wasn't I? Completely forgot. Onef has been injured, but hey, it's not like I ever used him. This is why. And now I won't be using him again for a while. This is why. Did we not get any supplies from those people that we just murdered? No? Did they not have food we could... Okay, I guess. You enter a village of miners who want to know what's been happening recently. Ooh. Between the rumblings of the quake and sightings of dredge in the distance. As you look around you... As you look around, you see a lot of elderly and children, and you know that these people will only be more mouths to feed. But they'll also be people, but they can make their own decision. You welcome anyone who wishes to join the caravan. Many do, while others choose to stay in their homes and see things through. You wish them luck. But hey, we can buy 6 supplies for 1 renown. That's excellent. There, I actually have a decent amount of supplies. And is anybody level 2 that wants to level up? Because I can afford that. Morgan, it's your lucky day. What's level 2 bloody fail do? Oh, just an extra strike. Flail, anyway. I said bloody fail there, didn't I? Have some armor. And we will rest while Onef gets better. Because we have the supplies for it now, and it'll help our morale. And we leave again. Look at that! Shouts one of your clansmen. The caravan stops to watch dredge pooling into the village you just passed through. I hope anyone who stayed behind got out alive, says Alette, but you have your doubts. Well, they had their choice. They're coming, says Ivor, pointing out a line of dredge leaving the village and marching towards you. As you watch, the dredge in front falls over. Then the one behind it falls as well, and you hear a twang to your left. Nid, the archery student of Oddleaf's, who you recall deftly shooting a snow rabbit, is firing down arrows down the hill. Another dredge topples. That's incredible, says Oddleaf, squinting. Well, we should get out of here. Yeah, I think for once we're going to not succumb to hubris. Odd's right. Let's go. But why don't you come with us the next time you want to try out that bow? You tell Ned, who nods, a smile on her face. Got another archer, yeah. Yeet. Got another archer, got great morale, got 12 days of supplies, everything's coming up, Rook. We no longer have great morale, we have good morale. A gaunt man and woman approach the caravan, hands held high. Word friends, the man says. We are poor farmers, down on our luck. The woman hits him and says, we're outlaws, plain and simple. 10 of us and we'll help you in a fight for some food up front. I fell for this one before. Also, what are your crimes? Misunderstandings, the man says. Meat houses are confusing, never know when you drank your share. The woman hits him again and says, we've stolen, killed a few when we had to. Skills that might benefit you out here. Oh, let's keep believing in the better nature of humanity, shall we? Join us, but you'll be watched. The two quickly shuffle to a supply wagon as 8 more bandits emerge from the wilderness. They gorge themselves on salted fish and cheese, taking time to thank everyone. After eating, they politely keep it to themselves. Oh, they're polite outlaws. See? Excellent. And who knows, those extra 10 fighters could make all the difference in a war footing. Ooh, is that enough godstone? Ooh, the snow's easing up in front of us as well. Yeah, it's a godstone. But only from one angle. A godstone that's only a godstone if you stand in the right place, which is a concept I like. The godstone of Doomfish passes around you. In the frozen climates here, it looks like the rock has split and is falling apart, held together only by the deep snow. Is that really loud? I think that's really loud. Oh, just looked at my levels. It's really loud. Listen, Norse singers, I appreciate that you're excited about the godstone, but calm down. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind drops off completely, picking up again once you pass through. No, that's not his voice. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night. That's not his voice either, but you know. Says Ivor, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around it, Dredge might not even be able to find us. Sure, let's trust in the gods. You walk around camp before settling in. Along each strand of Dunder's massive beard is carved a different part of his story, and you turn your head to and fro to read it. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found a counterpart in Dunver who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dunver took some of her creations, gave them beards, and showed them the secrets of smithing, though many remember him just as fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth. As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box carved into the godstone itself. The box is an elaborate construction of interlocking pieces which slide around when touched. But you can't get it open, I tell you. It's like a puzzle. Well, we've solved puzzles on this stream before, and remember how badly that went. But hey, let's try it. The boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn, though you don't seem to make much progress. Eventually they leave to sleep until it's just you and a couple of other determined youngsters. Keep doing it. Why would I go to sleep? Does that seem like me? It's hard to know how long you spend sliding around the smooth puzzle pieces. But when people begin emerging from their tents, you know you're in trouble, exhausted from a long, sleepless night. Worse still, the box remains closed as you shuffle wearily along with the leaving caravan. Okay, yeah, I guess that's on me. That's hubris, I guess. Of course Rook has hubris too. Who do you think I'm controlling? Oh hey, it's Housetop. Oh. Extremely abrupt music thing. While walking, the words of a mother's song reach you. It's soothing, nuanced, and about your current journey. When she finishes, a man begins a tale of his own in verse. The woman quickly responds with another poem, and the entire caravan slows to listen to the entertaining competition. Ah, see, like... This is probably tactically disadvantageous, but also, poetry competitions are such a quintessential Old Norse thing that I can't say no to. So let's join in. The whole caravan is shocked when the first line of your poem rings out. You mimic both contestants, adding your own spin on their tales. At last you end with a joke at your own expense, and the peasants wildly applaud. Once again, I am urging you all to read the Lokasenna, because it's very funny, and it's one of the classic Norse poems about just such a, effectively, rap battle. Hey, morale has improved, because we were good at poems. Give me 3 eggs and a belt buckle, and I will give you a drapa. Or whatever it is. In the distance, Haugstorp smoulders like an old campfire. Even from here, you can see black figures shambling through it. That looks like a dead time, remarks Ivor, confirming your impressions. There's usually survivors, Oddleif reminds you. There is no time. We have 6 days of supply left. Keep moving. We've had enough problems for one lifetime, you say. We don't need to go looking for them. Probably the better decision, replies Ivor. Rip Haugstorp. A trail of blood leads to a clearing, where you find a large, wounded Varl. He's gnawing on his shield, swearing at no one in particular, and occasionally slamming his cudgel on the ground. If not for the heavy bleeding, you'd leave this one alone without a second thought. Again, give everyone the option. We can help if you want it. In a heartbeat... Oh, this is not good. The Varl is on his feet, swinging his massive weapon. Make your own jokes. You jump clear as the cudgel smashes through the trunk of a tree. Your party scatters to avoid the falling timber. Once you recover, the Varl is long gone, leaving only another trail of blood, which you decide against following this time. Well, that was an occurrence. Oh, where are we now? Oh hey, it's another Godstone. With some much more chill music this time. The Godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Ivor shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger laying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that? You ask Ivor, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Well, let's look at the stone. Ingrid's Godstone is carved with ancient runes, which don't make much sense to you, though Avon tells you some of the Menders have deciphered them. It's how the Menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes, depending on who's reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Avon doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. As you're readying to depart, you hear screams from near the main Godstone. Oop. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment you think it must not have been dead, but then you see that they've opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, says Ivor, his arm across your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill swoops over you. Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop, shouts Ivor, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small, stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. It's a baby. That dredge is a woman. We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time. Leaving them to die. In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these Dredge the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading. They're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness. Something black is covering the world, and the Dredge are running from it, just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Ivor, you knew. Why? Why? Why didn't you say something? Ivor? When I was young, I killed one of the Sund during the Second Great War. We called it Raise. Every time we built our defences, it'd flatten them and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varl, stumbled upon Raise deep in a snowstorm, alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe, it twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed Asunder. Accidental war crimes. When I found my way to Grofheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up in Skog. And no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind blowing through the trees. Turns out Dredge are people too. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you. We're not remotely qualified to care for a Dredge baby, but also I kind of feel like we shouldn't just leave it here. We just adopt our own Daikini baby? We're taking it with us. You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take in the Dredge infant, while others are furious about bringing it along. I mean, we'd have that reaction whatever we did. Abstaining due to feelings, yeah. Not long afterwards, one of the women comes to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she says, giving you a hairpin that looks distinctly un-Dredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips you notice. Persevere. From the goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. Well, we got an item and also a child. Shockers, things in war may be more complicated than they seemed. I kind of want to take a day for morale, but at the same time, we have 4 days of supplies left. You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that Varl have gathered. Ivor joins you as you approach. Ubin, you'd rather be known for falling asleep and dying in the corner of a meat house than battling Asunder. Wow, that accent was not right at all.
No, I'd rather be known for not dying.
Don't even know what you're worried about. I did this 100 times in the Great Wars. Take some warriors, plough head first into the Dredge. They follow you into the hills, get lost. Now they're not following you.
When you did this 100 times, did they have Bellower leading them?
Have you never heard about the time I hit Bellower in the head with a throwing axe? I can't maintain a Welsh accent, I just can't. What? Both Varl halt their debate when they suddenly notice you watching. What's this about?
Careful, my friend. A lot of old history getting thrown around here.
The warriors were just noting that there's a damn good number of dredge on our asses.
Bellower pulling up the rear. This one thinks he can just wander up there and throw them off our tracks.
How about some gratitude? Thought you'd be happy to finally be oldest Varl in the land, Ubin.
Never happy to lose more Varl, Krumr. Besides, I'm not convinced you're really older than me.
Old rivalry you've got here. Comments like that remind me. Already wasted too much time doing nothing. In the old days, I'd already be halfway to the battlefield by now. Speaking of which, you coming, Ingvar? Cross Bellower for your arm back? Don't think so. Not exactly in the mood right now. Alright then, tell Hatherborg you said hello. Krumr and a good many Varl warriors head out towards the growing army of Dredge. Okay, I don't actually get to have any input on that. It's almost like nobody made me mayor. Is he going to come back? He always has before.
But this time feels different, I fear.
Welp. Bye, Krumr. Yeah, I want to take time for morale, but morale would also be impacted by us all starving to death, so... As you're nodding off to sleep, shouts of fire pull you back to attention. Flames quickly consume a supply wagon and a few tents. A woman cries out, "My boy!" and points to a burning tent closest to the outlying Varl. Two of the giants are motionless, staring at the spreading fire with terror in their eyes. Okay, well, Varl are very bad with fire, we know this. I think it's time to do some personal heroism. Wrapping your cloak around you, the smoke, flames, and tent become a blur as you grab the boy and slice through the back canvas with your hunting knife. You meet the ashamed look of the older Varl while the crowd cheers on your heroic act. Unfortunately, the supply wagon did not make it. Oh no. What in the depths was that about? Now I'm unintentionally Welsh, you mutter to yourself. Something about the fire? Oddleaf tells you. I've heard of this before, they don't like it. Doesn't change what happened, you think to yourself. Okay, we now have no supplies, that's very bad. Morale declined on account of people are starving. Oh, there's Sigurholm, so there's that. Gather round, doubters! Echoes a shout in the distance as Krumr and his band of warriors break through nearby foliage. And behold the invincible Varl! The caravan is thrilled to see Krumr return safely. Did he bring lunch?
Does the plan work?
Asks Ubin. Work? Responds Krumr. Of course it worked. Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they even find their own arses. And if you apologise, I'll tell you how I find these, Krumr says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a Varl. He leans in close, whispering so Ubin can't hear. Had something to do with a raven's nest and a hair tie. Cool, but you didn't bring lunch. Can I eat this glove? Is the glove made of candy? No, I'm disappointed.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud homes sink.
We fear the worst, he says, as 10 people starve to death.
A side effect of the quake. What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
So yeah, about that island. I'm amazed morale hasn't gone below normal given how many people starved to death over the last few days. I like to think that that would somewhat impact morale. One catastrophe to another, says Oddleaf as you pull into Sigurholm. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Avent, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare, aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat. You reluctantly set up camp in the sinking town. That's a different game. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? While taking stock of the caravan, you've inadvertently walked into a debate between Oddleif and Avent. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. I'm sorry, Avent. I think Oddleif is right. I saw a man. The whole time he was setting up, he was just watching me. In a creepy way. I don't think there's a way to be watching someone all the time in a non-creepy way. It's a creepy thing. And how long before the dredge find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time, Rook. Listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. I kinda don't. Do you have supplies for sale? Not a huge amount, but you do. Hello again. Sorry about that, everyone. I'd say what happened if I knew what happened. Just suddenly my computer thought, nah. And just hard crashed. So that was fun. But hey, I'm back. Twitch being like, this bitrate line is in the red, your connection is unstable. Yeah, that's because my computer is apparently unstable. Not salty at all, I promise. Yeah, we're gonna take our break soon, but I can get some stuff done before then. Let's see what people want to talk to us about. Nid, you're new. What do you want to talk about? I don't know if you've ever spoken. I'm Nid. You're Rook, I know. We've actually been traveling together for a long time. Isn't it strange how you can be so close to people and not know them? Every day I pass people I swear I've never seen before. I mean, mood, I just don't recognize people. I wanted to thank you for letting me join you. Have you always been such a good shot? Honestly, I never even tried before Oddleif made me. I spent my whole life making clothes, cleaner. Oddleif's good, but I don't think it was all her doing. It feels right. I just look where I want it to go, and anyway, I feel better. Caravan, the people worrying all day and making problems. Sometimes they really stew in their misery. I'm glad I can do something helpful. Where are you from? I don't think you're from Saga. I knew most of the people there. No, I had a house in Frostfell, but we were driven out when the dredge started to show up. My husband died trying to protect our home. My sons and I were thrown out in the fields. I'm sorry. Ekkel's men killed my husband. Now Ekkel is traveling with us. Oh yeah, I forgot we still have all of those prisoners. For a long time I was angry. Why did he get to live? Why did you decide for the rest of us? You look away momentarily, not sure what to say. But I've let it go. I have 3 sons, and I don't want them to grow up with hatred in their hearts. That's why I wanted to thank you. You're welcome. I should be going. Don't think anything of it. We all have our own problems to deal with. Let me know if you need me to put an arrow in something. She returns to her tent where her boys are waiting for her. So she seems cool. And Avent. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno. Worried doesn't begin to describe it. If she doesn't find us here, or something's happened to her, are you sure what you saw was real? It could have been a dream, or I don't know. You're pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything's a blur. No, don't tell the others I said that. I have to hope it wasn't just a dream. What's it like to be a mender? Being a mender, I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. And they knew very young that I'd join the order. Born into it, you could say. My mother and father, both menders. The guild is for lots of people now, builders and healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No, that's not normal. It's one of the reasons I know Juno. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this, so we don't end up scaring people. How exactly does weaving work anyway? Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything's part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them remember the shapes of, like I said, hard to explain. Cool, that was a complete lack of explanation, but thank you. Why is Belor still following us? I saw Grafheim as it burned. Eyvind gets a faraway look in his eyes. The sun blew through it like a tempest. The Var fell in the thousands. Most of the Sundra left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading towards Aberang. Belor stayed in Grafheim just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Einertoft, I thought he must want to wipe the Var off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Ivar was the one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. Do you think this is the end times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escape the dredge, that serpent said that darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long that'll take, or what it means even. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. The Manders are in Aberang. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. I won't take any more time. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spent all day worrying about serpents or Sundra. I think a lot of people are intimidated, or scared maybe, of me. I mean, you can pull lightning out of the sky. That seems rational. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending. Do you have supplies for sale? Yes. Supplies, please. I know I have people who probably need levels, but we really need to eat. It'll take a day for morale. A scuffle's broken out in front of the houses. Thief! Shouts one of your people as a group of strangers flee from your camp. Oddleaf is already running their direction. They took our supplies! You hear from nearby. Chase them. Chase the thieves. Come on, you shout, and several join you in the chase. You wander onto a beach where some men have been waiting for you. Some terse words are exchanged about whether anything had been stolen or not. You don't see who draws the first weapon, but it ends the conversation, Dad. Really? Did you have to immediately turn this into violence? God, guys. Let's look at Nid. She's a bowmaster. Oh, and she has some skill points. Mother of three, Nid comes from a life that never had to worry about things like Dredge destroying her hometown of Frostvettel. but has adapted better than anyone expected. And she has Bird of Prey. +2 range, 100% chance to hit. Like that. So we still don't want to let... I think that's a solid lineup. Oh, we have these new things. Dungeon's Hand, +3 strength. I like that. What does Gunnulf have at the minute? +3 break. Yeah, plus strength sounds better. Unless Avent wants it. What does Avent have? He has plus armor. No, plus strength would be better. What does this pin do? 1 strength resist. Ooh, that's exciting. Exciting and spicy. That sounds like an ale thing. Plus armor can go to Oddleaf. Let's Talk can go to Nid. The Bjarkan Rune can go to Morgan. Nobody can level because I spent all of our money on supplies, and frankly, don't complain about that because it's also quite hard to level if you've starved to death. And let's go. Having to manually keep track of the time now because my stream timer no longer says what I expect it to on account of it, you know, reset. Honestly, why did you have to go and get yourself murdered, all of you? Now let's just be dead. Hydrated stretch, yeah, fair enough. Anyway, the text said this was happening on the beach. As beaches go, this looks a lot like a field. Can I actually get any... Yeah. And he doesn't pull lightning bolts out of the sky anyway. He pulls them out of the ground and throws them into the sky, and then they land on people. Just physics. How would you like to not have armor? How would you like to not do that? How would you all like to just stop it and leave? And not steal from us. Because really, that's the core point here. We don't want to kill you, but also we also don't want to starve to death. And as soon as we argued about anything, you started trying to kill us. So it's kind of on you. That 12 strength worries me severely, so I'll have half of it. Thank you very much. Cease to do that. And you be dead. Stop hitting us with axes! I do like Avon's death animation though, as he kind of falls and then he pulls some threads out of the tapestry to cushion his fall. Anyway, might prey on this dick. Don't shoot Nid, she's new here. Bird of prey. I was expecting to get some bonus damage off the punch of that, I'll be honest. Oh well. Got him. One shot, one kill. Pillage time. And dead. And I even picked up an injury. Boo to that. Is that probably my fault? Yes. Will I accept fault for it? No. Did I arguably accept fault for it by saying it was my fault just then? Shut up. The thieves scatter Like I say, people pay me money to say words. And yet, the thieves scatter pretty quickly when you start laying into them. But when you return to the caravan, you discover why. Even more supplies have gone missing since you rushed out to fight. Oh, come on! Come on! Now I have to spend a bunch of renown on more supplies. You could have just not taken the supplies and you could have my money. I would prefer that. We need to rest. A random assortment of people from the caravan confront you. Listen, says one. We don't feel safe here. I don't know anything about menders or whatever, but we're gonna leave. I hope you'll join us. Looks like a couple dozen people, farmers and fighters alike, feel the same way. Yeah, let's just go with them. Honestly, this place sucks. You agree that it's time to go. Eyvind casts his eyes upon the ground, but doesn't protest. The caravan packs up and prepares to leave. Because I'm not convinced Juno's actually alive. Got other problems, says Ivor. The whole place is flooded. We could try to walk the muddy parts, but it'll be slow going. We could try to float the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck. Or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long that'll take. What do you think? Boat time, I think? You spend some time rigging the wagons to float on the water, sealing them with tree sap and whatever else you have on hand. The rest of the caravan finds anything they can to float on, small boats or makeshift rafts. Some swim. With a deep breath, you set off from the bank. You do your best to float the various ragtag groups of your caravan across the muddy lake towards Bursgard. Things quickly go bad, between rafts pulling apart or people tipping into the murky water of the lake. Eventually you gather everyone up, but you've lost precious time and supplies to the bog. Damn it! 20 supplies?! I hate everything. I'm going to take a day or two for morale and wounds, and then we're going to starve to death, but you know what? That's just how it's got to be, clearly. Maybe I should take 10 minutes or so for morale and wounds. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I just didn't want to do so too soon after coming back, if I'm honest. Thieving bastards! You awaken to hear. The small band of outlaws who previously joined the caravan made off with a substantial number of supplies while everyone slept, a watchman tells you. Where in the depths were they allowed to join us to begin with? So I'm going to take a break because I hate everything, and the world reciprocates. That's the real moral of this game: is never trust anyone. If you ever believe in people's innate goodness, they'll die or steal all your food and then murder your people. God damn it. Okay, so we have no days of supplies. We're in the middle of nowhere. Where are we map-wise? Commit cannibalism. Why carry supplies when your supplies carry themselves? I mean, you're not wrong. Okay, so we're heading down towards Bursgard. An aging and senile mess of a city that can't remember whether it wants to sell you something or steal everything you've got. Oh, so every city. While Ormsdale grew early into an important hub of trade, its twin city Bursgard became the place to buy things nobody else was willing to hawk. It's greatly supported by the potent items harvested in Reykjavik and Tista, and plagued by huge disparities between the extremely rich and the suffering poor. So that sounds like a fun place to be headed. But yes, I'm going to go and take 5-10 minutes to rest and regain some of my own morale, and also like get water and stretch my legs and all of those good self-care things. And also Twitch will want me to run ads, especially because I no longer have my ad credit because the stream ended because my computer died. So that all sucks. So I'm, yeah, like I say, 5-10 minutes, going to go and do all of that. Would recommend you all do the same self-care things. Drink something, eat something, stretch your legs, take your meds if you haven't. And yeah, I will be back in a few when we will continue on down towards Bursgard, which sounds awful. Love you all. Lost the button for a minute. In a bit. And we're back. Hello everyone. Yeah, to add to all the stuff that's going wrong at the minute, I forgot to roll ads. I forgot to queue ads before we actually left. So, enjoy the pre-roll, anyone who's joining at the minute. Sorry about that. And rip my monetization. Ripitalism? No? You know those things that they sound like they're a joke when they're in your head, and then you say them out loud and they're barely even detectable as one? That. Anyway, we're back and we're all starving to death because people have made bad choices. I don't think even I've made bad choices. I think mostly I've made good choices and then people have exploited me for them. We're back to a kind of Zero Escape moment, aren't we? Where it's like, if we just all actually worked together, things would work. So, you know, people are gonna be dying. You choose if that's... You decide whether that's starvation or cannibalism. Time to exploit them right back. As you're about to head off to sleep for the night, Onef pulls you aside. I have a couple of concerns I wanted to speak to you about, he says, in private. Find a quiet place to talk. What's on your mind? How well do you know the people travelling with us? I mean... Don't worry, they'll be dead soon. How many strangers are in the caravan now? Who are you worried about? I've been watching folks since I joined you.
Your companions from Saga, they're loyal. I mean, it seems pretty clear they'd die to protect you.
I suppose I'd do the same.
What about the Varl? You don't even know half those warriors. You're telling me they have no problem following a man's orders now? After everything that happened to Irontoft?
They joined us voluntarily.
And they might voluntarily put a sword in your guts too. What happens the first time the Varl don't want to do what you tell them, in the words of Rage Against the Machine? If Kruma gave the word, I guarantee at least half would follow. Let's be honest, they could take this caravan by force at any time if they wanted to.
They haven't.
Doesn't mean they won't. They're not the biggest problem though. There's Mender with us, and Mender who pulls lightning out of the sky and tells us what to do and where to go. Himself, I think, we lucked out when his mentor didn't show up in Ziggural. Avon's just the apprentice. What in the depths is his master capable of? Think about it, Rook. What do you really know about Avon? I heard they were found practically dead in the middle of nowhere when the dredge started showing up. Then an enormous serpent shows up at Irontoft after tearing the world in half, takes one look at Avon and bolts. Suddenly they need our help instead of the Mender Council. How does that make any damn sense?
You might be distorting what happened.
Or Avon might be. I'm grateful for what you've done to get us this far, Rook. But it's always been about trust. I think it's time to part ways, so to speak. Nothing personal.
Suddenly you gasp for air. When you look down, Onef is holding a knife, very deep in your ribs. People suck. Your vision blurs and blood fills your sight. You gasp again. There's a bird whistle and the camp becomes a blur of motion. Onef's fighters from Frostfest leap into action, cutting people down. I hate everything and everyone! As Oddleaf turns to fire on the man, Onef runs her through and pulls the blade from her back without even breaking his stride. What? She drops like a sack of flour, and one clean motion his blade then takes Ale in the throat before the boy can grab his shield. Onef heads straight for Let, freezes in unbridled terror. You rise to your feet through the pain. Ale and Oddleaf are dead. Somehow you find the strength to cleave the nearest traitor in two, but you can't find the breath to shout. You think your lung might be punctured. Onef clutches Alette's wrist amidst the commotion, tosses her bow aside and pulls her into the deep woods. Her eyes meet yours across the campsite. No! Her lips say that you can't hear the words. A dozen men appear between you, as Ivor steps into view as fearsome as you've ever seen him. Gunolf mess them up. So this is a tragedy, y'all. And one definition of tragedy I've definitely heard is where you do everything right and everything goes badly anyway. Everyone does what's right for them in the short term, and then get dead. And the worst thing is, right, there until there's 2 of them. Yeah, let's do that. Worst thing is, I think I half remembered this. I was like, you have the chance of recruiting Onef and Eka for Frostvettler, and I was like, one of these is a very bad decision, and I remember that. Turns out I picked the wrong horse. Be dead. Actually, just strike is fine. Horse? What? Wait, what about a horse? I've missed something. Oh, yeah, no, metaphorical horse. I was saying I knew either Onef or Ekert would be a very bad idea to have around. I couldn't remember which one, and turns out I picked the wrong one. Metaphorical horse. Anyway, get Arklet. This is why you don't start a coup against the side that has Gunnulf on it. Just be like, oh, you don't know anything about your giants and your lightning wizards. Okay, but still, would you want to take them in a fight? Apparently, yes. I think my point has been proven. Was picking this game just all part of a kind of long play intervention to try and cure me of hubris by just making all the consequences for overconfidence tremendously bad? Where's Alette? Shouts Ivor, tearing through the nearest bandit, but you're already hobbling into the deep woods where they disappeared, ignoring the battle raging behind you. In a haze of pain, you start to think you've lost their tracks. Then you hear Alette screaming in the distance, followed by silence. You tear through the trees. In a small clearing, Alette lies with her back against a tree. Her hands and her clothes are covered in blood. She stares vacantly ahead, unblinking. Beside her is the body of Onef, an arrow buried in his right eye as if placed there by hand. She looks in your direction, and then at Onef. I killed him, she says. Well, that bit where Alette didn't want to kill people. Turns out we shouldn't have brought Onef along. Alette, are you alright? You cringe as much from the pain as the appearance of Alette after her bloody struggle with Onef. No, I'm not hurt. I had no choice. Dad, your chest, you're bleeding. Suddenly she's at your side, putting pressure on the wound. I can fix this. Where's my needle? Oddleaf! Anyone? Ivor, I found them. Just as your sight goes black, you see Eyvind, Ivor, and Alette standing over you. He's going to make it. Your eyes open to the sound of Alette's voice. Normally, a wound like that, I only hope I did enough. I'll survive. Dad! Alette stops herself from hugging your bandaged chest, pulling your head to her instead. The words come out easier than you expected. Oddleaf? It's a good thing Eyvind was here. She's going to pull through though, it was a nasty wound. Okay, there's that at least. Managed to kill most of those traitorous sons of bitches and the rest fled into the woods. There were a lot of people I couldn't save. You did everything you could, Eyvind. Nobody expects you to raise the dead, although that would be handy. Eyvind frowns deeply, putting a hand to his forehead. Why did Onef do this, Rook? He was talking to you right before it happened. He had been planning it all along. I think that much is clear. Eckert killed a good half dozen of Onef's men by himself. Told me Onef was running Frostvetter this whole time. He left Frostvetter behind when he saw a better opportunity. Guess that relationship was over. Eckert was always just a barking dog you put in the yard to find out who your enemies are. No accident Onef went out after those of us from Skog. He must have thought with us gone, he'd take the banner and the rest would fall in line. At the worst, they'd take all the supplies for themselves and leave the rest as dredge bait. Well, more fool them, there aren't any supplies. We have to be more careful. We can't just let anyone join the caravan anymore. Where do you draw the line, Ivor? I don't know, Rook. I really don't. None of this changed the fact that Bellower's out there somewhere, following us. That swamp around Sigerholm might buy us some time, but we gotta keep moving. Your body aches all over, but Ivor's right. The road calls. The caravan is already starting to pack up camp. Oddleaf, not actually dead. Ale, actually dead. Fun fact, there's like 5 different points in this story where Ale can die, and there's an achievement for actually getting him to the end. Let's talk to our people. Oddleaf. How was the wound? You notice Oddleaf wince as she rises to greet you. It's doing a lot better. When I saw it happen, I thought for sure. Well, I'm really glad you would have missed me, Rook. She smiles. Without Eyvind, that's all you could have done. Instead, you'll have to put up with my crap a little longer. Yes, our narrator is entirely unreliable and is just whichever POV character we've got at this minute. It still aches like you wouldn't believe, though. Well, maybe you would, as you took a stabbing yourself. I guess things could have gone worse. How are you doing? I'm doing alright. Sometimes it's lonely since my husband died. I meant more with the stabbing, but sure. I guess I'd say it's more like being alone, even surrounded by all these people. Not like I don't have enough to worry about, though. I'm glad to have Alette around. And you, Rook? What do you think about the caravan? You mean, should we start kicking people out? It's a tough one. Usually I'd be the first to give you a dirty look for suggesting it. On the other hand, I got a sword in my back. Oddleaf thinks for a long moment, before sighing. Don't send anyone away. Just make sure nothing happens to Alette. I'll let you get some rest. Okay. Thanks. I'll take you up on that. You know, you're welcome to keep me company. When I'm a little more awake, I mean. I'll talk to you later. The ship is real. Eckert. Look who it is, still not dead. How are things, Rook? I can never guess with you, Eckert. I heard you helped drive off the traitors when Onef attacked us. And it leaves me always wondering, what's your deal? I'm not so hard to understand. Why don't you try asking instead of telling? Why didn't you warn us about Onef? Didn't I? How many times did I have to call him a traitor before you got the message? What do you want me to say? Watch out, Onef's gonna murder your whole family. You didn't fill me in on the details. It was always like that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to convince you to off me. But listen, I don't need to know, so keep it to yourself. Why did you stick with him? I don't know, Rook. Family makes you do weird things. You know what the worst part is? We became kin when he married my sister. She died of fever one night. But she didn't. She wasn't sick. He killed her. I don't know why he did it. Maybe he just felt like it. I was so furious. I got so angry that I wanted him to beg. I could kill him without a second thought, but that wasn't enough. I wanted him to feel sick about it. Puke his guts out. And somehow that turned into death over time. He never cared, and I gave up and did what he wanted. Don't know how it happened. Good eye twitch you've got there. But when I attacked you in Frostvet, guess I'll just say it wasn't my idea. Now, do we release him? I think, from the vague meta-knowledge that I have from playing this many years ago, it'll be fine if we do. Because like I say, I knew one of Onef and Eckert was the bad one to have around. And I went wrong. Yeah. Hubris. We could use a good fighter. Could have killed a lot more of them without my hands bound, if that's what you mean. So, Rook, I don't have to be your prisoner anymore. So you're gonna let me walk around with my own axe and everything? I mean, you're clearly already carrying your own axe. That doesn't mean I'm not watching you. I can accept that. You're a good man. I need to get going. And I need to take a piss. You're not the only busy man around here, you know. Shake your head as Eckert steps away from camp. Turns out he was just a man with problems all along. Oh, we can give some people a level. Chronometer, you can have level 2. So we have Eckert now, a rank 1 grudge wielder. Run-ins with this lunatic have made you hesitate to let him fight by your side, but his strength and skill almost makes it worth the risk. Active ability, Guts. Leaps to great heights before bringing down his axe on the enemy, causing all units adjacent to him to be knocked back, friend or foe. Affected units take normal strength damage plus 1 strength damage for each tile they're pushed. Nice! And he has shield wall. Oh hey, hello Sai, and yes, just for you. Sleep is good. I should do more of it. Have fun at work, and by fun I mean probably the opposite of that. And yeah. We really can't afford to rest on account of all the no food we've got. Every time I click that button, people would die. And even though I've accepted a certain amount of losses on this, can't just click the death button. Oh look, there's 10 people, starved to death. A scout returns with a nearly frozen child. I almost stepped on her in the snow. Looks like she must have been running from something, he says. Patches of blue mottle her pale skin. but her chest rises and falls ever so slightly. Even just carrying her along could kill her in a state like this, says one. You could be in danger here, points out another. Keep moving, but heal us. Fighters stay alert for any threat while the caravan moves on. The healers rub the girl's arms and legs under blankets, to no avail. An hour later, one healer approaches you with tears in her eyes. She says nothing, only shakes her head. We should rest in camp to recover morale? Yeah, but morale will probably become even worse with the death. Okay, fine. Yeah, see, morale still declines when you rest in camp now. Morale will now always be poor. Oh, well, this is just depressing. This looks like people. Do they have supplies? The villagers here are completely oblivious to the destruction that's coming. Oh, we've seen some dark figures far off, they tell you. Aside from a few young families, they're reluctant to pick up their things and join you. I mean, nor should you be. 5 days of supplies, yes. It's a shame how we can't sell our unwanted items. Where are we map-wise? On our way to Reykjavik. Still a long way from Bursgard. Great. Let's rest, recover a little bit of morale. And move on, I guess. Oof, this is... It's not going well, I shan't lie. Is everything that's happened arguably my fault? Yes. Do I have a point to make based on that? No. No encouragement or tales of glory will lift the spirits of the caravan. In the north we have times like this, says one of the Val. The other giants grin, raising tankards and horns of mead. Skull! They shout and make short work of their drinks, explaining that each person takes a drink when someone tells a story that's more miserable than the last. Others join them for the second round and meads passed your way. Do we bond? Shall we misery bond? Let's do that. Taking the mead, you shout, Skull! The crowd cheers and laughter echoes through the camp for hours, as each person comes up with increasingly more absurd stories of woe. The Val's remedy is a success, and the caravan is in a much better mood the following day, albeit hungover and with less mead than before. We got morale, which is good, because it's the only resource we do have. A woman's stifled screams fail to overly concern anyone. It was only a matter of time before the expectant mother gave birth. The caravan is simply excited by this first sign of new life since the trip began. Let's not rest and celebrate, or give them extra rations, because we don't have those. We will privately congratulate the new parents. You discreetly make your way to the family's tent amidst cheerful clansmen. You give your most heartfelt congratulations to the parents, telling them how strong the young boy looks. The mother cries, and the father thanks you repeatedly. Morale and renown just for having a child. Should do this more often. And starve to death less. Just even without the children thing, if we could just starve to death less, that'd be great. Well, this godstone looks metal as hell. I'm pretty sure I own albums by this guy. The imposing godstone of Bjorulf approaches. His severe visage makes it feel like he's watching you even now. The caravan spreads out, happy to be free of the confining forest and in open fields. In fact, in honour of Bjorulf, some of the caravan crack kegs of mead and wine before anyone can stop them. Do we still have that? It's the only god that matters, they shout. Everyone drinks, and you're glad for the merriment that swept over the caravan. Cool, while you do that, I'm going to go and poke the stone. You look up at the godstone, Bjorulf's head surrounded by images of casks and drinking horns. Though he was always depicted as being stern, Bjorulf was one of the most popular gods of Men and Val, the one who taught them how to brew. It seems like more than coincidence that the long fields around Bjorulf's stone have always been excellent for growing anything you can need for a good drink. Join the party, because again, morale, only resource we've got. You accept the mead being offered to you and settle in to enjoy one of the few times you felt good since leaving Skog. Somehow, despite everything that's happened, you're able to let it go for a short while. And like, how good is that mead if it covers for the fact that you haven't eaten in a week? As the hour becomes late, the caravan is eventually ready to get back on the road. The day by Bjorulf's stone is one of the few memories that hasn't been tarnished by the spectre of bad fortune, you think to yourself. Again, haven't eaten for a week. But sure, go off, I guess. A flurry of snowfall seems to come out of nowhere and quickly thickens until you're unable to see the man in front of you. This is not what we need right now. You shout out a complete halt, but the screaming winds drown out the sound. A day passes before the blizzard abates and clansmen start to reappear from the snowdrifts. It quickly becomes apparent that not everybody's where you last saw them, and a quick search of the area is not enough to recover all the missing clansmen. Make a bonfire and wait for people to come back. Collect what you can for Barnick, you shout to everyone. We'll wait for the lost to find our beacon. Unfortunately, there is no significant amount of dry wood, and attempts to get a fire going are unsuccessful. Eventually, you realise that nobody else is coming and return to the trail. Oh my god! Did this game have to be so bleak? Morale declined. So much for the only resource we had.
It is more of a smattering of farmhouses than a proper town. Though judging by stray dredge stalking through empty fields, it is barely even that anymore.
Reynivik comes and goes as a long series of farmhouses abandoned and crawling with dredge. The farmers have probably already fled to Bursgard. Damn it, I was hoping to buy some supplies here. You try to hurry past, but are eventually spotted. Dredge start ambling in your direction. What is that? Points out Oddleaf, up near one of the longhouses. In the distance, a large person, clothes seemingly covered in blood, is cursing loudly and stumbling about. He staggers into a longhouse, laughing. The dredge heading your direction turn back, roaring, and begin to pound on the longhouse door. They seem to be holding a grudge against this particular person. You down the door will hold one. Let's help, because what could possibly go wrong that hasn't already? Against my better judgment, we should probably do something, you say. The others agree, even though it means putting them all at risk. As you quietly approach the dredge and manage to splinter the door and break through. Hey! Shouts a Varl wearing all red, standing on the other side of the dredge. Came all the way up here just for me! He seems unconcerned about the dredge as he hoists his enormous sword. We got an item? Question mark. Sigbjorn. He's holding a scarlet feather. More movement, less aggro. Solid. He's just another warhawk. Alright. Found in a drunken stupor, Sigbjorn appears to be part of a clan of questionable morals, currently residing in Bursgard. Who do we want? Ekith can have a run out. Let mid, Rook. Yeah. I don't have enough renown to promote you, so let's just do it, I guess. 1 armor, 13 strength. That's just ridiculous, y'all. Nobody needs that. Instead of a shield bash, because he doesn't have a shield anymore, he just headbutts them into oblivion. I like that. What's Guts do again? 1 strength damage and knock back to all units. No, because it's not like I can even knock him back. Started on -2 willpower because everything is awful. Oh yeah, I forgot you were even there. Ooh. Why did we not bring a vent? Is the real question here. Okay, that was actually pretty solid. Good work, Ed. Okay. Stop hurting your legs. Get that one with bird of prey. Fine, I guess. Okay, that was way more of a problem for your own unit than mine, but go off, I guess. Oh yeah, she's got that thing that means she can't be killed if she's on if she's on more than 1 strength, so that's actually pretty great. You just be dead. No, not you. You also dead. You not dead, but you know. Okay, this is where you Tempest. I don't have any willpower. Tempest. It's always bugged me that the damage from Tempest is calculated clockwise, and the animation clearly has them spinning anti-clockwise. But then that's the kind of thing that bothers me. Let's down. This Stone God Colossus is down. And it takes this one down. Okay, so we win, you know, at what cost? But more importantly, are there supplies around here? Welcome to my mead house, Sigbjorn's House of Mead. I wasn't expecting to file this for herself. This drunk. I can see that! There are people huddled in the corners of the mead hall, looking on with uneasiness. Unease, surely. Who are all these? Who are you people? No, they're friends. They made this place, not really mine. You lured Dredge back to a room full of unarmed people. What is wrong with you? Come on, I saved everyone in here. They shared some fine drink. Best drink. Wait, I was saving your ass. Remember that part? If you knew you'd come up here, you could have told me. What do we do with this guy? How much mead is left? The townspeople show you a huge stack of barrels filled with quality mead and help you haul them back to the caravan. Supplies! We can live on mead! I'll miss this place. Good memories. With some help, you gather up the casks of mead and head back to the caravan, Sigbjorn and the other survivors in tow. The caravan gives the boisterous Varl a large berth as you set out for Bursgard. See, I want to rest for morale and wounds, but again, that would just burn all our supplies. Ugh. What did I do? Sigbjorn wakes in a pool of his own sick. Why am I surrounded by small people? The other clansmen let him sleep off his drunken stupor on the ground, and this morning he's paying the price. Help him recover. Reluctantly, your clansmen offer any food and drink they can scrounge together for the moaning Varl. When one offers thin mead, he pushes it away. In fact, take this away from me, he says, handing you his massive mead stein. Eventually, Sigbjorn comes to you. Won't go into get into details, he says. I was supposed to bring those casks from Rainvik back to Bursgard. I drank maybe half, by accident. Point is, Sigbjorn continues, you don't tell anyone what happened, and I won't tell anyone about the mead you got, okay? Trust me on this one. You agree. Go back to travel. Okay, we got third item, I guess. I am going to take a day for rests. It's not going to help in the long run, but you know. Someone's been making extra goods from the supplies, a concerned woman tells you. Counting these myself yesterday, no mistake. If this keeps up, we'll all be starving before long. Yeah, we will, on account of there's no food. Let's post some extra guards to watch the lack of supplies. To deter any further theft, you discreetly place some trusted guards by the caravans. You hear a few people casually point out the extra manpower, but nobody seems to raise an alarm for now. Yeah, wrapping that fine glassware. And fine it is. And the starvation march resumes. More supplies missing, the woman by a wagon says to you. And look, tracks. Right here they look like children's footprints, but my husband and I follow them into the wilderness a ways. They meet up with some adult tracks, no telling how many. Scouts, go and check. You round up some volunteers who depart quietly. They return that evening with reports of a few tracks that ultimately lead nowhere. Someone may be trying to hide their tracks, but you don't have time to continue the search. No, we do not, because we have to get back on the Salvation March. Bursgard is in sight!
At steep cliffs, the sprawl of Boersgard comes into view. A city of contrasting rich and poor, opportunity and gamble. Our best hope for salvation, or our graves.
But more importantly, do they have food? Chapter 7, The Slayer and the Slain. Incidentally, you know I said before, I'm pretty sure there's a forced march achievement. I believe, well, I know there is. I believe it is for getting to Bursgard before day 100, which, Jesus. If finally you arrive at Bursgard, where the walls stretch for miles in both directions and are littered with the bodies of Dredge, Varl, and men. "Excuse the mess!" shouts a voice from above the gates. Okay, that's not who I thought that would be. Looking up, you spy a striking Varl, his face wreathed with matted black hair. Movement to the gate catches your eye. Dredge is still banging on the gate doors without luck. "Let us in!" you shout. Sigbjorn pushes past. "Won't be hearing the end of this for a while," he says before yelling, "Open up, Bolverk! They dug me out of Rainovic!" You hear a laugh echoing on the wind as the doors creak. A dozen armed men, led by the massive Varl, make quick work of the Dredge and usher you into the city. We made it. You may be interested to know that they bought Mender.
You didn't go to get a mender. Where's the mead?
Sigbjorn shrugs apologetically.
I guess the mender will do. Either we've got a chance now, or we're completely screwed.
I'm Rook. We've come a long ways, some as far as Skog. Are you in charge here?
In charge of the governor, I suppose. Listen, if you have something to tell him, say it now. Otherwise you're on your own. I don't care where you go, but stirring up trouble is probably the only reason you'll see me again. And it won't be to talk. Amanda, come along. We're gonna go see the governor.
Bolverk and Sigbjorn leave with Eyvind, who goes willingly, signalling that he's fine. Interestingly, he's called Bolverk, which in the original sources, Engage Myth Nerd had, is a name, is one of the names for Odin. I believe it's, I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I believe it's an alias he takes at a party. Because Odin did that a lot. Just turn up with a wildly obvious false name. Bolverk just means Bale worker. Bale is an evil. It's like referring to magic. My favourite one is Grimnir, which sounds really dope in kind of modern connotations. But when you look at it etymologically, he's turned up at a party wearing a mask and said, "My name is Grimnir," which means masked. Hello, pay no attention to my mask. My name is Mr. Mask. No, I'm not anyone you'd recognize. Goodbye. Fun. This is just like Frostvattler all over again. There's nothing like Frostvattler. One in Bearskin is probably leading the Ravens. Ravens? Is that good or bad? Depends on who they're working for. Hopefully it really is the governor and not someone trying to strong-arm their way into his seat. I guess we wait for Eyvind to tell us if he comes back. I'm not worried about Eyvind. I'm worried about the army of refugees we brought who don't belong here. You're probably right. Nobody ever uttered a nice thing about Bursgard. So what now? We ought to go to the docks and see what our options are, in case we need to leave quickly. Did you notice the city guards when you came in? What guards? I have a feeling the Ravens are all I've got left. Something serious went down. When Bellower gets here, he's gonna walk right through this place without even breaking his stride. Let's keep that to ourselves for now. So, the docks. Wait, so where would we go on the water? Let's check our map. Ah, there's a lake here. And then the river takes us to Armstadt. And eventually to Armorang. It's Darla, not Dart. But yeah. Hello, we need food, please. I mean, that would be super dope to have, but one renown gets you one. One. I'm halfway tempted to just buy the cool item and say sod it. Oh hey, I just got an achievement for buying items. Clipping me being a mythological name nerd. That's fair. Nobody is low enough level that I can promote them with just 13. +1 strength and knockback on at least 3 strength damage. Solid. Or 2 armor per turn. Well, that's gotta be Avon's. And that's gotta be for Gunolf. There's nobody else who can take the high ones. So I guess we just keep going. Did you just send that to all the Assad through, you know? Okay. That's in 3. Gotta get those Norse diacritics correct. And fine, we'll buy... Can I buy, like, 2 days? 2 days. 2 days. 2 days of supplies. And then I can rest for 1 day. I cannot rest for 1 day. If your husband doesn't laugh at the Allfather awkwardly calling himself Mr. Mask, you married wrong. Well, I mean, not to criticize other people's marriages, but yes, correct. When you get to the docks, your heart sinks. Not a long ship to be seen, aside from wrecks. Bodies float in the water, buildings are trashed and boarded up. What happened here? Murmurs are left. They're all gone, says Avon, approaching alone. I see you have the same thought as me. Avon, you're okay. I'm fine. It wasn't a lie. The governor is here. He's in hiding. Why? Since the dredge started appearing, anyone with a ship and half a wit left long ago. People can't leave by foot. Food is scarce. The markets are bare. You're telling me. Bursgard is a fire keg waiting for someone to tip it over. So the governor's paying the ravens to protect him against his own people. And keep the peace, so to speak. It's more like a massacre any time there's a hint of an uprising. Where does that leave us? I promised him the Mender's protection in Arborang. I don't think he's very popular there. They're gonna start tearing this place down and build new ships. We can ride the Ormsa River all the way to the capital. Leaving another perfectly good city behind. How long will it take to build new ships? Hold on, what happens to the people living in Bursgard? It's the best I could do, lad. He thought it could take as long as a month. You don't usually make ships out of scrap lumber. As soon as people figure out what's going on, there's going to be riots in the streets. A month? Why bother? Valor will be here within the week, if not sooner. I'm open to suggestions. Gods be damned, there's no end to this. Ivor roars in frustration, leaving you standing by the docks. A light gives you a worried look before chasing after him. Avent. What do we do about Bellower? Avent says nothing for a moment. I don't know. Great. Brilliant. Just hang here for a month. You find Ivor standing on the city walls, overlooking the fields outside. Dredge are keeping their distance, but continue to gather. Okay, Rook. Ivor cuts you off before you can say anything. You know he's been through worse. It feels like someone should cut us a break every now and then. If we want to be standing a month from now, we're going to have to be prepared. Well, currently we have no food, so take your bets. What did you have in mind? First off, our clansmen need a place to stay. They're torn to pieces out in the streets. I'll keep an eye on the dredge up here. If they break through the walls we're done for, so I'll have to keep them back. I'll always use a hand with that. We need to know who's controlling what and make sure we get our cut. Food's going to become scarce. When they start building those ships, we're going to have to keep people away. What a damn mess. I'll do what I can. Ivor explains. I'm leading attacks with Avon every time the dredge get too close to the gates. Listen, we're going to lose fighters in Varl every day like this. I don't need to tell you what happens if nobody's manning this wall. We can always use help. Consider what you want to do now, knowing that any of these tasks will likely take a full day. I mean, we need to find a source of supplies. I checked around, Oddleaf tells you, and nobody has food or they won't part with it for a fair price. And our medicine has been gone for days. They're either gouging the prices or it's just plain gone. She doesn't say it, but you can tell this is going to be a serious problem. Ravens, any help? Why did we just lose 6 supplies? Oh, because the day advanced. You find the massive leader of the Ravens along the docks, where they're doing their best to keep a growing number of people in check while the boat's being constructed. You question him about food supplies. Should have brought your own, he says. Can't go giving it out to every person in Bursgard. I'd kill every last bastard in the seat for some good mead, though. The place has been dry for weeks. Mead, you say? Let me get this straight, says Bolverk. You happen to come through Rainivik with Sigbjorn in tow. Plenty of mead to go around. Is that right? You hesitate a little too long. Murder that motherless yox, growls Bolverk. As he turns to leave, he grumbles. Bring the barrels and we'll make a trade. The caravan protests when you tell them the deal you made, but when you return with more supplies than you expected, the complaints vanish. 12 days of supplies! Yes, people are dying on the walls. What's your point? Ivor points out the dredge along the wall. There's a lot more of them. They're getting braver, he says. I lost a fair number of fighters since yesterday. Could use your help. There's no one left to defend the walls. I didn't realise I could zoom the backgrounds? Huh. See, it says any of these will likely take a full day. Does that include putting Krumer in charge of leading the warriors? Because that sounds like a good idea. Krumer, you shout, calling around the war leader. This is your expertise. Are you willing? Krumer is more than happy to switch off leading the charge, giving Ivor a break between fights. He spends the rest of the day showing you complex war strategies to reduce losses. Okay, solid. This is bad, says Avon, as Ivor points across the battlefield. Aside from the fact that we're up to our necks in dredge, a stone singer showed up. We've been losing warriors left and right. If we don't deal with it, this wall will come down by the end of the day. Dad, there's a riot at the docks! Alette runs up to you out of breath. They're trying to smash up the boats! When you calm her down, she says the Ravens are there, but she's worried that things could get out of hand. Oh god. I think we've got to defend the walls and take out this stone singer, haven't we? That stone singer is going to wreak havoc on us if we don't take care of it, Ivor tells you. It'll be a rough fight, but we've got to take it down. You ready? You Prepare yourself. Okay. Avend, Gunnulf. Let's just get our biggest hitters. Oddleif. I mean, that's got to be the team, right? Oh, and they've got a Stone God Colossus as well. Love that. Wait, why did I not move people around some? Welp. Cool, can't stop that stone singer doing whatever it's doing. Probably Umbridge, which isn't ideal. What? Jesus! And they don't count as diagonal for some reason. Well, they did say this was going to be a tough fight. Why is Rook at the end of the initiative? I could have sworn I put him earlier. Oh my gosh, it's all going horribly wrong. Yep, there you go. There's Umbridge. Don't love that. Bother Sun striking him, he'd be dead anyway. Oh no. Okay, apparently I was wrong. He's just on 3 strength. Do you know, I think we might not win this fight. For reasons such as that. Nice crit, love that. Can't do fancy things with your allies if they're all dead. Going to pillage. Well, this one's dead. Yeah. I think we're in trouble, guys. That drops to 1 health. For some reason they're not finishing her off, allowing me to get this kill I don't deserve. Okay. Everyone is injured. We might be about to lose Berskard. I honestly don't know what happens if you lose Berskard. Congrats, you have all been witness to the worst game of this I've ever played. No matter how hard you fight, more dredge keep coming. You begin to falter when the next group of fighters rushes in to take over for you, and you somehow make it back inside. Morale declined, not that it can get any worse. This morning, said Iva. I saw him. Bellower's here. I think it won't be long now. Eyvind leans silently on his staff nearby. One of your clansmen comes to you out of breath. Rook, he says, things are real bad. Look, there's nothing you can do at this point, but a lot of the caravan have been robbed, killed, just disappeared. Those of us left are going to split up and hide where we can. Wanted you to know in case we somehow pull through this. He runs off, clearly distressed. You grimace, wondering if this could have played out another way. Investigate the riots, I guess. When you get down to the docks of the Pandemonium, few work on the ships now as the Ravens stand over bodies of people while a huge crowd roars in anger. Bolverk's axes are covered in blood. What happened? You shout, pushing your way through the rioters. What do you think would happen? Responds Bolverk coolly. Didn't take him long to figure out we were building ships right under their noses. They can't have one. You can lend a hand or just stand around. That seems like the least likely to get me more dead. Your head tells you this is very wrong, but you push the thought aside and start taking out visible targets. Okay, yeah, no, this was a bad move. 1 falls, then 2, 3, 4. Once they notice the rioters are terrified that any of them could be sniped next, scatter. Nice work, shouts Belverg. We'll call you the next time we got a riot down here. Sitting with them quiet for a long time, just trying to catch your breath. You've killed before, but not like this. Yeah, wow, that was a messed up thing we just did. Ivor, he began. Can we really keep this up? Ivor looks like he hasn't slept for days. You've lost a lot of fires, he mumbles. The weight of the situation is crushing. Then, from far in the distance, you hear a horn. Dredge don't use horns, it occurs to you. Avon appears at your side just as a long caravan of people come into view, Dredge turning to attack them. Who is that, you ask? Can't be, says Avon. He runs towards the gate, shouting, You see that banner? It's Harkon! As you wonder how they got here, the gates are heaved open and you charge onto the field, clearing a path through Dredge. In theory. But everyone is injured. I guess. Let's go, I guess. Back from an hour-long meeting. Oof. If you guessing it got worse? No, it got much worse. Did we start eating each other yet? Not officially. I think officially people were just starving and dying. But no, it's all gone really, really horribly wrong and even more bleak than it already was. Did you just throw 2 bombs in exactly the same place? Oh no, there's one there as well. Okay, either get away from all those bombs. That's too many bombs. Yeah, no, I understand that kind of non-break meeting. Okay, again, that really worked out worse for you than me, but go off, I guess. By which I do, of course, mean if anybody from my work is watching, I have no idea what she's talking about, and I have never experienced a meeting like that in my life. Stop ganging up on Gunolf, it's rude. See, this is what happens. You just get to be once again, mildly underwhelming. Whereas Avon will just beat this guy to death with a stick. So we can just hang up on that. Get some more power so they can drop a lot of prey. Nice work, Oddleaf. Truly the best of us. So what we've learned here is don't wear green. It's dangerous. Juno. Well, colour me wrong, she isn't dead. I wasn't sure I'd ever see you again, Avent. She smiles and they embrace. Avent is completely taken aback as though he doesn't dare believe she's real. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to stay home. I ran into problems. Problems is putting it lightly. There's a mile-wide canyon practically splitting the world in two over those hills. Couldn't find a place to cross. Worse, dredge are practically falling out of it like blood from a wound. They're not coming from the north anymore. They're everywhere. We noticed. Glad to see you made it out alive, Ingvar. Take it the others didn't. Hakon becomes quiet. Then he motions toward Juno. She got across somehow. Found her out cold for a second time since leaving Strand. We need every axe we can get right now. Belor's here. Gods be damned, I thought I was free of that menace. I will deal with Belor. Come on, no need to tempt him by standing out here. Hakon's caravan enters the city, fighting off waves of dredge as they go. To your relief, hundreds of skilled warriors are now safely in Bursgard. And all their supplies! Hakon joins you on the wall with his personal bodyguard, Mogr. Behind him, the Prince Ludin stands alone, looking miserable. I have one last trip to make. I need this one to come with me, she says, pointing to you. I'm sorry, Avent. You must wait for me one last time. Do not let the city fall before I return. It takes everything within Avent's power to hold back, but he does. She turns to you. Rook, come with me. We'll return in 2 days. Maybe less if you're as quick as you look. Tell anyone who needs to know. Where? Why? Not far, says Juno. She pauses and something shifts in your vision for just a moment. I know it's hard, she says, her voice filling your head. And you've already been through a lot. As she speaks again, the rest of the world melts away. But you're needed. You can't find the words to argue. Are we getting mind-whammied? I think we're getting mind-whammied. That's just rude, we just met. Ah, this... Why did we have to take the massive wagon with us? You don't remember leaving the city. But here you are, walking through unfamiliar ground behind Juno. You're alone, aside from hundreds of dredge who are all facing toward an enormous stone ahead. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Seriously, why did we need this wagon? That is a lot of dredge. That is frankly more dredge than we can handle. And if we wanted them to not notice us, we should maybe not be carrying this big red flag. We're at the Guardstone of Stravs. You glance nervously around, but the dredge didn't seem to hear her. It's okay, you can speak. Softly. Is this where you're going to sacrifice me? Juno smiles. What could have come across as profoundly creepy looks sincere instead. No, the dredge cannot see us. To be more precise, they can see us, but I've convinced them to be unconcerned. I can understand your apprehension, though. Who are you? I wish we'd had time for a proper introduction. My name is Juno. I'm on the Manor Council. You've met Avend, my apprentice. How are you doing these things? Controlling minds? I thought Manors built things and healed wounds. You're right. Manors do these things. Some of us still practice the teachings given to the Loom Mother's first creations. We are called Valka. I believe I am the only one who can influence another's mind. Then why not take control of Belor? I learned the talent to heal minds, not control them. Though, even some Valka have trouble believing this. Taking control of Belor, it's the difference between convincing a child to sit still and telling a starving bear to stop being hungry. The truth is, we're rarely a match for the Sundra anymore. Our advantage is that we can train more Valka. It is also our weakness. The Valka pass on and lose their knowledge, while the Sundra simply grow older and more powerful. Belor is both immortal and beyond my influence. To a point. Then how do we stop him? The God of Secrets will play a part, as will you. What are we doing out here? Do you know of the god Stravs? If you know this stone exists even amongst those who live their whole lives in Bursgard. While Dangler deals in fortune, Stravs taught men the value of trade in a different way. He showed them it has consequence. Two sides of the same coin. See the silver in the stone? The gales up here wear away the stone, but the metal remains. We need a piece of this silver. God Stravs is wreathed by imagery of silver weapons. The myths say he traded these weapons to the gods, and they used them to kill each other. Those who seek out the stone call him the god of trade. The menders call him the god of secrets. He was both. Why are we surrounded by dredge? They seem to be drawn to the godstone. There are many things we don't know about Stravs. Maybe they see him as a patron, or it's an attraction they cannot explain. Does Stravs have something to do with that serpent in Arnatoft? What was that thing? I can't say. Can't? I have my suspicions, but until I've had time at the Mender libraries, it would be unwise to speculate. For all our knowledge, it always seems as though we know little. Imagine how the rest of us feel. On the contrary, the less people know, the more certain they seem to be. I mean, this is true. Why did you pick me? Why didn't you take Avend or Harkon? don't even know me. I apologize for putting you in danger. Avon must keep Borsgard from falling while we're away, and if something goes wrong here, I need to be certain one of us makes it back alive. I saw the thoughts of each person when I arrived at Borsgard. You were the only one I knew would return. What do you mean? You'd find your way back to Alette no matter what. Well, that's creepy. Let's get what we need and go. Indeed, you'll need to dislodge at least a fistful of the metal. We'll forge it into an arrow to slay Belor. Wait, after everything you've told me, make a magic arrow to shoot Belor. That's all it takes. Why didn't you do that a long time ago? Juno gets a faraway look in her eyes. No, that is not all it takes. What I tell you now must not be repeated. The arrow will not kill Belor, even were it to strike his heart. He has no physical weaknesses. But it will sow doubt in his mind. When it pierces him, I will help him to believe that he is dying. The rest of you will convince him of it with sword and axe. Everyone who fights at your side must believe it to be true. You're going to trick him into thinking he's dead. That is the most insane... He really can't be killed. No. Someday he'll awaken and realize he's not dead. I imagine he will be quite upset. First we must make the arrow. Focus on the task at hand. Oh, wait, this is legit a great plan. I love it. It's got... There's such a kind of cool mythopoeic aspect to all of this. This magic weapon can't actually kill them, but the story sounds like it should, so maybe if we all believe it, so will they. She looks knowingly at the Godstone, waiting for you to start climbing. Rook, I am not certain how the dredge will react when you do this, and behind us is a sudden drop. So be careful. You'd be pretty relieved to not be dead if you thought you were. Well, I mean, yeah, but if you'd gone into it thinking, just knowing that you were immortal and could never die, like, and yet somebody had convinced you that you had, I can see how you'd be pissed. Approaching the back of the stone, you start to climb, and looking for a loose piece of the silver vein. Even without looking out onto the dredge, you can feel each sinister face watching you closely, held back only by Juno's influence. Panic raced through your blood. Let's climb higher. As you climb, you can't help but notice the stony mass of dredge lined up before the Godstone, like worshippers before an idol. Just a glimpse nearly immobilizes you. Your hand rests on a piece of silver that comes away easily. The dredge do not react. Well, let's get some more while we're here. While you're here, you glance quickly around to see if there's any more low-hanging fruit. You're able to pry away another smaller piece of silver ore before your nerves give out. You nimbly descend to where Juno's waiting. Well done, she says. As you walk back through the dredge, their heads turn in unison to follow. The dread that lingers and the shaking in your hands does not subside for hours. Got an item. You approach the gates of Borsgard again, relieved that they're still standing. It looks like they took a beating while you were gone. Alette rushes to your side and throws her arms around you once you've crept through the gates. Juno smiles at the reunion and tells you, take this time with your daughter. Find a smith who can fashion an arrow from that silver. I have other things to which I must attend, but meet me on the walls when you're done. Well, I can level some people. Wow, so many people. Ooh, and a plus 20% crit chance, that's a lot. Alette. You're a boss. Have a level. And Rook can have a level. Wait, did I not confirm? I did confirm. Okay, it's just she's earned another level. Okay. Oh, Luden can have the magic belt of breaking chat. And yeah. Takes a while, but you finally find someone willing to craft an arrow for you. He eyes you suspiciously when you show him the silver, but shakes his head and gets started. Alette watches, the smith's fire reflecting in her distant stare. I talked with Avind a long time when you were gone. He told me a lot about Juno. Is she really as powerful as he said? It certainly seems that way. That might be the most luck we've had so far. Dad, I think I know what's going to happen now. An arrow, she's going to make you shoot Bellower, isn't she? I don't know for sure. Come on, who else is going to do it? Ivor? Alette, I know where this is going. You're afraid of me dying. This isn't like before. We can't run this time. It's not what I... Let me do it. What? Why not? Because you think I'll get hurt? What do you do when Bellower comes straight for the person holding the only thing that can destroy him? Let me speak. Everything's changed. Skog fell so long ago. I'm not asking because I'm afraid of losing you. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. Let me do it because you know I'm a better shot. I have a better chance of puncturing his armor. We only have one shot. I'm not a child anymore. I'm not just some girl. I'm your daughter. I can do this. For once, let me decide what happens to me. Now, this is a significant choice because, again, certain amount of meta-knowledge here, but from what I remember, whoever takes the shot is going to die. And I would personally much rather see Alette have a story arc through all of the games. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm sorry, Alette. No. She stares into the firelight. You wait for the tears to come to her eyes. They never do. Just promise. Promise we'll be together. You sit by her side silently until the smith finishes his work. Alright, Juno. Let's do this. There he is. Juno's in the middle of an animated debate as you approach, the arrow in your hand. There is little time left. Bellower knows we're here. Whether he's waiting for more of his forces to arrive or simply wants to starve us out first, I cannot tell. But he will not expect a direct attack. Is this a joke? How are we going to do that? I will take a handful of warriors to face him. I can keep a small group hidden from sight. The rest of you will lead the charge from here. With luck, Bellower will send his armies away from himself to meet you. What about the ravens? They may protest. They will not. I've arranged a task for them. Even if you make it to Bellower, what chance is there of defeating him? We saw what happened at Einertoft. That thing can't be killed. Juno shows him the arrow you had forged from the Godstone's silver. This will make him bleed like the rest of us. Once he's pierced, he will be vulnerable. She looks you in the eyes. We only have one. Do not miss. And bring only those you absolutely need. It'll take all my concentration to keep the other dredge from swallowing us up. I cannot join in battle. If we kill Bellower, then what? The dredge will just wander away? That is my belief, yes. I can't say for certain. This is a doomed plan. Help us hold out here until the ships are finished. And then what? Belor will hound our every step all the way to Aberang, where I am certain Morsundra will wait. Now is the time to speak to loved ones and the memory of any god that pleases you. Rest. In the morning, we slay Sundra. But why wait? Let's just do that now, shall we? Especially because we don't actually have a rest button. Our first red option. Just to say, this is it, guys. The silence is what you remember. You rise in silence and walk through empty streets. Upon the wall, two armies stand quietly, watching each other. Your footsteps echo on the wooden floorboards as you approach Juno. She breaks the silence. It's time, Juno says. Gather your allies. Today one thing will end, another will begin, and our actions will decide on which step aside we stand. Yeah, you have to have both of them. So, Avent, Gunolf, Luden, just all our highest level people. And probably... What happened to Sigbjorn? I liked Sigbjorn. Oddly... Oh, Ivar? Hakon, maybe? Yeah, I'll take Hakon. And rearrange these. Ooh. 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 No. Let's do this. Let's see how badly this can go, because it's gone so tremendously badly thus far. Belor, strength 20, armor 20, seems practically unkillable. Still your fear. Listen, I will try to guide you. And stuns one target and pushes all others back. That's ludicrous. Well, let's do this. What does Sundering Impact even do? I can never remember. Added strength and armor damage to target and adjacent enemies. No, that is only good if you're already doing a decent amount of strength damage. So instead, let's just take half your armor away. Oh, and it does damage to everyone as well. Well, that sucks. Yeah, and Rook now has the Silver Arrow ability. Break. Get wrecked. Keep Belor weakened, his strength will return. Yeah, but what about his friends? Will their strength return? Because I'm about to take a lot of it away. Anybody need a mend? Everybody's lost a bit of armor. Actually, Rook. What? Why did she skip turn? Oh, because Belor was taking stuns with us. Steal your courage, you need only slay Belor. Yes, I know this. Say that as though it were easy. wanted to use the arrow until there's no chance of missing. Right, so what we need to do is take Bellower's armor down. To get Bellower's armor below Rook's strength. Yes, the arrow can't be used before his armor is broken. I know. So, yeah. Crunchy noises. No! Dad! Please help him! Haste, child. Finish Bellower now. End this. Now! And we've all had our willpower refreshed. Love it. And he's down to a mere 1818 rather than 2020. Hurry, they're becoming hard to control. Can you reach Bellower without lining from here? No, boom. But you can try and get that stone back on the head. Fine, everything is fine. Yes, I know Bellower is wounded and I should end this. It is just difficult to do so. So how about you stop shouting at me? Good deflection, thank you, Avon. Probably easier for you. Back away, and Arc Lightning. Although, actually, that'll hit Gunnulf. Boo, this is bad. In fact, actually, what you want to do is mend Gunnulf. There you go, have 4 armor back. It probably won't help a massive amount against some of these enemies, but you know, I do what I can. lashes out for every blow he takes. Okay, I can work with that. Oh, I've only got the 1 willpower, so it won't be the best Arc Lightning in the world, but... Oh, there was somebody else. I think we low-key may be burned, though. And I don't know what happens if you lose him. I legit don't. Even stunned. Yes, I know he will respond to every strike. You just told me that. But what else can I do? Oh, and he's still healing. Great, love that. So, what happens now? The last thing you see is Bellower standing above you, and you know this is the end. Everything you've worked so hard for, gone in an instant. You have failed. Checkpoint? When was the last checkpoint? Before we started the Bellower fight? We're gonna forge ahead. Come on, one more shot. Let's go with this setup, I guess. Somebody should take this armor breaky thing. What's Rook holding at the minute? Crit chance. Yeah, no, he should have that instead. And then Harker can have the crit chance. Let's go. Solid. Really don't love that noise. Can you stop it? Yes, I know. I need only say Bellower. Please stop telling me that. Sorry if I'm not talking a huge amount during this. It's a dramatic battle and I am trying to do precisely one strategy. Enjoy this 9 break. Yes, I know. I would love to keep Bellower weakened. Also, your text is in the way of where I'm trying to navigate. Juno, sort yourself out. I found attacked. Oh, hello. Thanks for all kindly lining up. Can I interest you all in some arc lightning? Oh, and there was somebody else stood behind him as well. Clearly they've decided hide from the camera behind Bellower is a viable tactic, and history seems to be proving them correct. Yes, I know you can't hold them back for long. Maybe you should work on that. Maybe you should try holding them back for more long. Anyway, enjoy 8 break. I should use the horn so we can do 9 break, but hey, do what I can, do what I can. Sunstrike. That is, once again, just rude and will lead to you getting immediately murdered like this. Oh hey, Harkon's got a level that I won't be spending. Yes, I know, I must break through his armor. Please, stop telling me things. I know. I'm also just trying to take care of all the people around him that are somewhat harsh in my vibe. Nice of Bellower to go and stand by those bombs, I will say. Okay, now... Silver Arrow, go. Screechy thing, crunchy crunchy rook. Okay, phase 2. Really wish there was a checkpoint here, but you know, take what I can get, I guess. Let has a moment, and we go. In retrospect, I probably should have put the arm break on somebody who wasn't guaranteed to die in the first phase. If I have to do it a 3rd time, that'll probably be what I change. Yeah, I was about to say, I thought Gunolf had splash damage. Okay. And how was that working out for you? Does anybody need mending? I mean, we've all taken a bit of armor damage. Gunolf, just in the interest of not getting immediately marked. Oh, it only taken 1. No. Oh well, too late now. I say that a lot, or at least I think that a lot in this game. Yes, I'm trying to end this now, Juno. Stop shouting that at me. It is not helping matters. And I really hate this thing where he gets an action every time you hit him. Feels frankly OP. Anyway, have some arc lightning. I mean, it's almost like this is the final boss or something. Spoilers, this is the final boss. Yes, I've gathered he will respond for every strike. I got that from all the responding after every strike. Headbutt. Yes, stand next to the bombs. Just according to my plan. I mean, the bit where all my people are dying is less according to my plan, I'll be real. But, you know, do what I can. Do what I can. We are down to 2 people. This is not ideal. We're down to... oh no, not quite. Now we're down to 1 person probably burned. By which I mean basically certainly burned. What the hell? What am I doing wrong? Apart from the failing. 1 more try. Yeah, 1 more try. And then I should really go. Rook, Alette, Avend. Do I have a plus substantial amounts? I've got a +2 armor. But honestly, that's better, so... No, actually, it might not be. Or that would actually be better, come to think of it. Turn off. Luden and Ivor. I guess? Give that to Alette this time. And what does Luden get? Oh yeah, Luden can have that ring because it's pretty great. We start so unhelpfully far from everyone as well. Screamy. You say keep Bellower weakened as though he was weakened, Julie. We have not yet successfully made Bellower weakened. Take this one out, just to free up some space. Because it's not like I have to worry about giving Bellower more turns, because he acts every time we hit him, like a dickhead. And Rook's stunned. Gunnulf's blinded. Basically, it's all going fantastically. Yeah, the big chain. Yes, stand on those stones. I mean, don't kill them. Gunulf, that wasn't really part of the plan, but, you know. Please, you know, stop explaining to me mechanics that I already know. Actually, I don't know if doing direct strength damage to Bellow during this phase is actually helpful at all, come to think of it. But what is helpful is that 8 break. Silver arrow, end of phase. Already one person down, which is not the best thing there's ever been. Yes, Rook is dead, everyone is very sad. Gunulf's back up, but he's injured. Alette, I would really like you to be closer to Bellower. Oh, now nobody's closer to Bellower. That is annoying. Stop it. Keep throwing bombs, though, because they tend to just hit your own people and nothing else, so that's great. Avon's stunned. Stone Singer's doing a thing. I would really love it if it didn't. That guy's dead. Now I wonder, does Impale work on Bellower? I'd really love it if it did. Well, that sucks. Luden's stunned, not Luden. Avon's stunned again. Well, so much for having that item on the field. Actual damage. I legit don't see what I'm doing wrong, is the thing. I mean... what? Honestly, getting a little tilted here, which probably means I should stop running this again. So yeah, I guess next time we'll just be trying to beat that boss. Aish. Really hope I still have the restore point. Okay. Guess it's time for the wrap-up. Hey. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks if you've stayed to the end through all of that pain. If you've been watching this, you know where to find me, but just in case. This is twitch.tv/Serasent. That's SERASENT, the House of Hubris. You see all that on the title card in a minute. I'm streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 PM British time. That is 9 AM Eastern, 6 Pacific. Other time zones are available. And I'll be continuing this whole series, assuming I can ever finish this one. What else? If you want to get notified when we're live, throw us a follow. And yeah, you'll get that. And if you miss anything, you can find VODs on my page, on my Twitch for 8 weeks after the fact. Or you can go to my YouTube. The link is down there-ish. But it's youtube.com/users/rf191999, where you can see all my VODs from back to the very beginning of the channel. That's over a year of content. And yeah, throw us a subscription over there, and you will get hot, fresh VODs in your subscription feed every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. What else? If you want to... If you think me getting increasingly tilted and despairing at the human race is somehow worth your monetary support, you can, of course, cheer or subscribe on the Twitch, but you very much don't need to. Just turn up and be chill and have fun, and it's all good vibes. And if you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, where I am probably less salty, possibly less salty, yeah, roughly the same amount of salt, you can check out my Twitter, at Waruce, that's WARUCE. And with that, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Like I say, come back on Thursday and we will, in theory, play the next game, but I will first have to kill Bellower, or at least convince Bellower he's dead. So that's fun. Not salty. Not salty. Okay, yeah. Love you all, and see you on Thursday. Bye.